How now, Brown? Oh, we're live? Oh, well, welcome to Channel 4 News. Now, today we have a very special segment for you. We are actually talking about the Civil War. Now, during this time, the family dynamic changed dramatically. The fathers went out to fight for their homeland and for their families, so they weren't present in the home. The mothers took on roles that the father would usually take, maybe working to provide for the family or working on the farm. And even the children had to grow up faster than they probably would have liked. They had to take on more responsibility. Now, here with us today is someone who actually fought in the war, Dr. Nick Shia.
Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Now, we are so glad to have you. Maybe you should start with telling us a little bit about your childhood.
Sure. So, I was born in 1848 in Savannah, Georgia. I was the oldest of 5 children. I had 4 little sisters, so I kind of felt responsibility towards them already. And so when the war came around, my dad knew that it would be him and I leaving to fight in the war, and that my mom would have to stay behind and take care of my little sisters, which my mom was not a fan of. She didn't want to lose her husband in the war. She didn't want to lose her only son in the war. So it was tough on her. So in early April 1861, we left Savannah and went to Charleston to fight in the Battle of Fort Sumter, which was the first battle of the Civil War. And if you're not aware, the Union forces actually held Fort Sumter, which is right in the middle of the Charleston Harbor. And then the Confederate forces held every other fort around it. And so it's pretty easy for us to win back. No casualties. They ended up surrendering it back to us pretty quickly.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, after Fort Sumter, what exactly did you and your father do?
So we fought in some various battles in Georgia, some battles in South Carolina. We would often travel, we got to defend the South, right? And so at night, when the war was done, or when we were done fighting for the day, we would play games with other soldiers. We'd play dice, cards. I learned that I was not the only teenager fighting in the battles. About 1/10 actually of the troops was made up of underage kids. And so I made a bunch of friends, which was nice. And so between battles, we would actually go back home, and my dad would resume his role of, being a dad. He would farm the lands, take care of his family, and take care of his kids.
Wow, okay. Well, your mother and sisters, what exactly did they do while y'all were away at war?
Sure, so my mom was great. We lived on a farm where we grew tobacco and corn, and while we were gone, she had to be the one that farmed the land. And so she would do that. She and a bunch of other ladies in the Savannah area actually got together and sewed some uniforms for us and some blankets, which we were very thankful to have as it got quite cold out in the battlefield. My sisters, they tried their best to help, but they were just so young. All that they could really do, was cook, and they would take our corn and tobacco into town to sell.
Okay. Well, with you being the oldest sibling, do you believe that you had to grow up faster because of the war?
Oh, absolutely. If being on the battlefield, looking at your enemy dead in the eye, and knowing that they want you dead, doesn't make you grow up faster than you should. I don't know what would. Not to mention my little sisters. I was the oldest one. I had 4 younger sisters, and they were so young. I kind of felt like I had to step up and be a father to them instead of that brother role that I had been so used to playing. So I grew up way faster than I expected.
I see. Well, that's all the time we have today, but we thank you so much for being on and
Thank you
talking
for
a
having
little
me.
more. Back to you, Channel 4.